Hello everyone, I'm Rebecca Keppel. In today's video, I am sharing the brand new Missees for Studio Light designed by Karin Joan products that include pets and guys. If you've seen my previous Missees video, you know I love these supplies. I love Karin Joan's designs. Last time I made a ton of cards using the Missees girls, the pattern paper, the stamps, the dies, you name it. I'm going to do something similar today, but I want to share all the new products with you all. So let's just take a quick flip through what Karin Joan sent me to play with. There are two new paper pads in this release, Ice Cream Pop and Summertime. These are double-sided pads and you get several of each design. And in inches, they are about 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. So they are great for matting and doing die cutting as well. These are the two Missees men. There's Andrew and Brian, and there's lots of accessories to work with. And these are the pets. There are a ton of designs, and I love how there's a small stamp set and a small die set in one package. A lot of these can be mixed and matched as well, and I'll go through all of them a little bit in this video. You can see that there are just a ton of options. I want to be sure to share all of these new products and how to use them, so let's dive right into the card making. Okay, we're starting out with Donut Dog, and you can see that some of the accessories like the donut and the cupcake have in the stamped image the little dog's arms. So the dog stamp actually comes armless, and you can either add the arms by themselves, which is included as well, or have the dog holding an accessory like this donut. So when I'm paper piecing, I like to stamp the dog and the donut in brown, and then I'm going to cut out the little arms and put them on top of the donut that I stamped and cut out in pink pattern paper. So just some really easy paper piecing. I know it's very tiny, but it was pretty easy to put these together and make it look like that dog is holding this cute little donut. It's so much fun to have all of these different options in one tiny little stamp set, whereas you can have the arms on their own, you can have the dog holding the donut, holding a cupcake, and then just glue the arms with the donut right on top, and it looks like the little dog is holding that donut right up to its mouth. I also did stamp the dog out in pink so I could paper piece the nose right on top there and just put a tiny little dab of Ultra Bond liquid glue, and I'm using an embellishment tool to pick up those tiny little pieces of paper. Find that's the easiest way to do that. I'm also going to use Sweet Cat on this card, and similar kind of situation where the cat is armless in this stamp, but there are arms, and then there are treats with the little kitty paws wrapped around like the handle of the popsicle. This time I stamped and die cut out 3 different popsicles so that I could have the popsicle color, the stick of the popsicle, and then the color of the kitty's paws, which are gray. So a little bit more fussy cutting than I'm generally comfortable with, but it was so cute to make it look like the kitty was holding that little popsicle. I also, for this card, used the Sweet Table set, and that has got a ton of little treats and sweets and accessories. So that's more of an accessory set that you can use with any of the Missees pets. They've got a little tiered cupcake holder, they've got a glass bottle, and I cut out the glass bottle and stamped it in white, and then I also cut it out in pink so that I could have some strawberry milk inside the bottle. And the way I'm going to put it together is I cut off the bottle top so that I could glue on the straw that I stamped and die cut. Then I'm going to glue on the strawberry milk on top of the straw so it looks like the straw is in the milk and you can't see it. And then I'm going to glue back the lid on top of the little glass jar here that we're drinking out of so that it looks like the straw is behind that as well. So a little bit of trying to figure out what comes first and what needs to be cut, but that was really fun because now it looks like this cute little strawberry milk. The stamp sets also do have sentiments, so I stamped the "You Are So Sweet" sentiment on some white cardstock, and I have the little tiered tray glued on there, and I matted it on some of the pattern paper from the new pad. And now I'm going to pop up some of my elements, especially the little kitty and the little dog, and then just adhere the little strawberry milk to the side, and then pop up a couple of treats that I stamped and die cut out of the pattern paper. Just an easy way to get some coloring on there. And last but not least, I am going to use some Nouveau Crystal Glaze to cover the glass bottle that contains the strawberry milk. And then I have a few of these iridescent sequins from the last Missees release. I'm just going to put dots of the Nouveau Glaze all around the background and just pour this right on top, because there are little sequins and then bits of glitter too, and that will stick to that Nouveau Glaze, and then all I have to do is tap off the excess to create that cute little iridescent glittery background. Okay, so I'm going to use Coffee Bunny, and this time I'm going to do some Copic coloring. So these are the colors that I will be using today for this little bunny. Now, I know there are more gray bunnies or white bunnies, but I'm going to do a white bunny later. So this is a brown bunny, and you know, I actually looked at this and I thought it was a dog with floppy ears. So you can kind of do whatever you want with your pets and have them look like dogs or bunnies or cats or bears or whatever it is that you want to have on your card. So just doing some very simple Copic coloring on some of that Heffy Doodle cardstock that I love so much because it is so super smooth, and adding a little bit of cheeks and nose in that kind of lipstick rose color, and then going over and making sure everything is blended out. For the cup, I just did some very basic coloring and then matched the little paws. Again, those paws are separate around that coffee cup, or you can cut them out individually. I'm going to heat emboss the sentiment using some emboss ink from the stamp market on some of the pattern paper, because I felt like the white embossing will stand out more even than black ink here on this pattern paper. And it says, "I love you more than coffee," which in the morning, that's a tough sell. But I think it's such a cute little image. So I am going to pop up my little bunny / dog with floppy ears and add the coffee cup on top. And then I decided I liked what I did last time with the sprinkling of elements in the background. So there was a die that cut out all these little hearts that's included in one of the sets. And so I cut it out a couple of times out of pattern paper, and I'm doing the same technique with the Nouveau Crystal Glaze and then just dropping them on top, sprinkling them on top. Okay, this one is definitely a bunny. It's called Funny Bunny, and I am going to use it on some white cardstock. I love the little faces that you can stamp on top. You can either color them in, or like I did before, you can paper piece them. Since this is a white bunny, I did decide to add some pink cheeks and some pink ears, and this one is a really cute birthday set. So there's balloons included, there's a gift, some bows, different confetti pieces. So to match the white bunny, I do have a mat of white cardstock, and now I'm stamping the happy birthday, this time in black ink, and it did actually show up really pretty on that striped pattern paper. So now to put the bunny together, very simple. I like to put the shoes on first, then the body, then the head, and then leave the top of the head open, no adhesive, to tuck the ears behind. I have the bunny holding a gift. So again, the bunny came without arms on itself, and then you can decide whether to put it around a gift or something else. And then these little balloons I cut out of the different pattern paper, and I cut an extra bow to put on one of the balloons. And now I'm just drawing the balloon strings down behind the bunny's ear and next to the bunny. And I absolutely adore putting these pets together because it's like playing with dress-up dolls. It's so super cute, these little paper dolls that you can create. Okay, this is the Heroes pack. So I cut the little bear out of brown and then out of black, and then I'm using the little mask die to cut out the mask. I also cut it out of white cardstock so that I could stamp the eyes, but I'll show you that later. I also used the kitty cat. I'm gonna have 3 little heroes dressed up, and here's the little kitty cat face. There are a couple of different options. options that you can choose. And the Heroes pack is like an accessories pack with the cape, the sword, the little knight's helmet, just lots of different, the mask, lots of different options there. So for the white eyes inside the mask, I am stamping some eyeballs, and then I'm gonna stamp the face underneath the mask. So there's lots of ways that you can put it together. Use your imagination and have fun with it, but it's a lot of cute paper piecing if you want, or coloring if you prefer, and then dressing these little guys up, which I find really fun. Even with these tiny little pieces that, you know, sometimes I'll lose a little spot and then I have to re-die cut it. I just have so much fun imagining these little characters into life. So now I'm going to stamp a couple of sentiments on white cardstock with black ink and cut them all down into sentiment strips. And this time I'm making a vertical slimline card. So I cut out 2 pieces of pattern paper to mat on top of each other, and I'm going to have each of these little characters next to one of the sentiment strips that I stamped. So I am adhering the sentiment strip down flat to the card with some tape runner, and then I'm popping up the characters with some foam tape. So if you ever love playing with paper dolls, these sets are definitely for you. I absolutely adore the little pets, the costumes, and the little sweet treats that you can give them. Okay, for Andrew and Brian, these are the men of the Missees line. So I'm going to link up in the right-hand corner here to my Missees video that included all the Missees gals. And you'll see it's similar in that there are heads and bodies and then tons of accessories of dies in each set. And you can use them in lots of different ways. So definitely check out Karin Joan on Instagram. She shares how to use all of these different dies in lots of different ways to create different outfits, different facial hair, different glasses, all kinds of things that you can do to really, again, make these paper doll looks on your cards. They're just so much fun. So I also like the Tara Moore set of pattern paper that came out with the last release because there's lots of skin tones in there so that you can create lots of different looks for both your guys and your gals in the Missees line. Plus, the great thing is that everything can be mixed and matched. So I don't even know who I'm working on anymore because I did kind of swap out the dies and hairstyles and the different facial features that come in the stamp sets. There's noses and mouths and all kinds of things. There's a die here that I realized can cut the little V-neck for the shirt. It's so brilliant the way that Karin Joan designs everything. There's so many little details like this pocket and then the pocket flap that you can die cut. So these are just lots of fun to play around with and kind of figure out what you want to create for your look, for your person. And then I just use some tape runner to adhere everything together, sometimes some liquid glue little dots as well. This is cool. So at first I looked at this die and I was like, what is this? And then I realized it's to create a collar and it wraps around the back of the neck just like a real collar would. I'm telling you, she is absolutely brilliant with how she designs these to make them really fun and realistic. So I stamped a happy birthday sentiment from one of the other stamp sets, I believe, and I just trimmed that white panel down to 4 by 5 1/4 so it would fit on an A2 piece of pattern paper, and then I trimmed the body down so that it would fit next to the sentiment. I just think it's so fun to have guys to add to the Missees line. So for this other card, I am going to use the same type of white panel on an A2 panel of pattern paper. And I just wanted to share that this stamp can actually be used to create a shaved head of hair, or you can use it to create kind of like a 5 o'clock shadow on the face. And that's what I mean by brilliant design. Like Karin Joan really thinks of different ways that you can use one element in the stamp and die set. So I have a congratulations stamp that I grabbed from one of the other stamp sets and a trio of stars that I'm just going to stamp a couple of times in some platinum ink. And I did cut his body down so that it would fit into the left bottom hand corner. If you love the Missees line as much as I do, be sure to check out my last video. I'm going to link to it over here. As always, I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you again soon. It's going to be a ton of cards featured. Feature. I need a thesaurus in my brain. And